So thank you all for joining us today to the fourth of 4 TruBlo demo days. Scope of this meeting is to have 2 projects talk about their experiences, good, bad, and ugly. That is fully okay. The first one we're going to talk about will be provenance. Provenance tackled the area of misinformation. And at the very start, the plan was to solve a problem that is not so obvious to the outside. If, as a fact checker, you see something that is truly false, how can you ensure that this evidence is still there when it goes to court, when you try to actually tackle it? Can you tell about how your project evolved so far and where you are now?
So thank you very much for the opportunity to join the TruBlo consortium and also to develop Providence. Okay, we have a small presentation regarding the project, but so we entered the TruBlo consortium with we've been working before with fact checkers and with fact checking and with the International Fact Checking Association.
We realized that fact checker organization had several problems regarding difficulty in keeping this content, keeping this record content of their database. Also, mal or mis and disinformation often becomes unavailable once debunked. And also the different solutions were in the centralized infrastructures. And the last point that we found regarding these interviews, with fact checkers organizations, was the lack of trustworthy information to train AI models such as ChatGPT, for example.
Okay.
Yeah.
We have developed a Providence, a decentralized platform, and also a wallet in order to record, store, and list evidence of this content. Okay. Also, even if the author is delete the news or this content. So also a really quite important point of the solution of the product has been the technology we used in relation to the different problems we have mentioned about. Has been, for example, the store all the disinformative content. We have used Alastria network and other sample to list the content to other entities. We have used the ERC 4970 token and 655551 token, which this token allows you to manage the content and even set an expiration date also. So well, here we have the
data model. Yes, food for techies. And yeah, go ahead.
Go, Miguel.
No, it's okay. We have a system both on chain and off chain. So all we as a team we were focused on give as much as content as possible on chain, because as Christina said, there was a real problem with disinformation groups attacking the reliability of fact checkers. So we wanted to ensure that not only the fact check, but also the hoaxes and disinformation remain and are accountable. Okay, so both disinformation groups and fact checkers can be accountable of their actions. Okay, so in that case, we use a Web3 architecture with a front end, both a platform and a mobile wallet. So both fact checker third parties and users and end users, citizens can access the blockchain, and in this case, Alastria Red B, but also IPFS. That is, there's some discussion about if that's or not a blockchain, but no, it's not the question here. Then a backend, and then the blockchain. Yeah. In the end, what we are allowing is decentralizing the proofs of disinformation, the proof of evidence for both disinformation and fact-checking. That is something that right now there are competitors with some business models there, but that in the end and in the long term are not, there's a single point of failure. And as the cyber war really is increasing the, on the disinformation side, a lot of fact checkers and so companies, corporates were, guessing if there is a better way to keep all that information stored. So increasing the resiliency of that kind of information and disinformation. Okay, so in the end, our platform provides fact checkers organization with some useful tools. But can you stay in the previous one? Yeah. With and third parties, with ways of provide a login and authentication and managing content with tokens. That is, we think that is a really innovative way of doing that. In the end, we have been recently in contact with, since the beginning of the project, but more recently in contact with other organizations interested in managing information in the blockchain. And that way of using tokens to do that is really innovative. Okay, so beyond kitty cats, there's some useful or other, crypto assets. A really innovative way of doing that. And yeah, what we discover is that our guesses, and you can pass on to the following one. Yeah, regarding in this months, TruBlo has been helping a lot to improve our initial idea and to move forward and to explore another ways of view the managing of information, disinformation. What we have perceived is that some bad things, disasters are happening in the last few months, and it's really not good for everyone. But also increasing the cyber war and disinformation, both the Ukrainian war and the only thing that is happening in Israel and Palestine. Really more disinformation is happening, so there will be more spending on managing that kind of fake news and disinformation and misinformation. So right now, this is 2 years before estimation of the global market. Right now, within this tripling, this market of ensuring that misinformation, ensuring that disinformation is not hitting companies or governments, okay, especially with the coming of generative AI. So we validated that with trilateral commission. So Cristina, can you go further with that?
Okay, no problem. So we have done a demo with the Trilateral Commission, which is an organization with their mission as a group of countries sharing common values and commitment of the rule of law, open economies and societies, also with democratic principles. And we have validated the solution, the platform, the problem we found with this fact-checker organization. Now in this step, we are waiting for their inquiries from them in order to how to install a Providence platform. Also, we have several questions regarding data privacy.
Mm-hmm.
So our go-to-market and how go-to-market, and we focus on fact-checker organization, but also in other companies, as Miguel previously mentioned. And the use of Providence are expected regarding to pay a tiers basis on 3 different points. The first one is the record of this content. The second point is maintain this decentralized and immutable record in a secure by design in this kind of infrastructures. And the third point is list this content with other companies, with third parties content companies, in order to exploit the data and train their systems. So and also here we have developed a matrix of the type of features that Providence covered, but other solutions maybe didn't. For example, list this kind of content by API. Okay, so we also wanted to highlight TruBlo consortiums and the value of TruBlo consortiums. We have helped us in order to providing the technology using Elastia network in order to support regarding business, or maybe also the interaction with other user or companies or projects that they are in the consortiums. So, well, in summary, is regarding give us multiple channels and the opportunity to communicate with them. So, concluding with the presentation, and in order to start with the demo, we wanted to highlight the outcomes we have obtained in terms of certifications and digital identity. Okay, so regarding in terms of certification and NFT, in order to certify this content and represent it by NFTs, also providing a marketplace for leasing this content, these NFTs, this technology, these tokens, and also for the application of this token for the generation of content chains, okay, in order to associate this content with a patterns, oaks, or evidence. And also there are an important point regarding digital identity we have achieved in order to give a user management model of an organization, also in order to facilitate the user authentication, okay, and ensure this anonymity to the user, to the fact checkers, also working under the organizations. And the last but not least is like we provide a single sign-on based on OpenID, I think. Okay, we need to be focused and give a huge point regarding scalability and transversability of Providence, of this technology. We also can give other solutions regarding notarization, digital identity, also traceability, applying this kind of disruptive technologies such as blockchain technology, NFTs technology, and that's it. So here we are going to directly through the demo. Okay, firstly, we are going to give you an insights regarding the wallet, and then we are going to directly to the back office for the user, for the organization, and also for the front end for the organization and user. Okay, so here we have the wallet of Providence. We have a welcome screen, okay, for the users, and we when we open the wallet, well, the followers start by writing a PIN and accept the terms and conditions. Okay, so once we enter this PIN and accept the terms and conditions, the user is shown a seed phrase only once. Okay, so the user must write and then confirm this seed phrase. Okay, so the users and the organization will operate in Alastria network. Miguel, do you want to say something? Okay. They will operate in Alastria network, okay, and they should write again the PIN. Okay, the user with it will use the wallet with the objectives and with the goal to enter in the platform. Okay, they will scan a QR and then go directly to the platform. I will show you now.
Okay.
No.
Go ahead. Sorry.
Okay. Here.
Okay.
I'm going to show you firstly a second, because this is the frame for the list organization, and here we have the other frame for the okay, fact checker organization. I want to show you both. Okay, here we can see the frame and the website platform of Providence for the fact checkers organization. We have a list of misinformation registrations, evidence, a list for evidence content registration, and also a list of what content we list to other third parties. Okay, I'm going to add a new registration. I'm going to do an example for you in order to have more familiar and know the platform. Okay, here we can choose misinformation or evidence. We also can relate this content with other content we previously registered. So this is quite important, because maybe on internet there are an update of the news. So here we can add whatever content related it. Okay, here we are going to write a title. Okay. I don't know, whatever. Okay, here we can write the descriptions, and also we can include the source. Okay, we can include a link or maybe an article, and if we choose an article, we can write the media, and is it maybe a screenshot. Okay, here we can select the file, and then we can upload, yes, for example, a PDF. Okay, so here we can see the file attached, and here the date of today, because this is the day of we do the register, and Then go to the register. Okay, a success registration. And then, okay, here we have our registration, okay? We're also going to do an example in order to list a content, okay? Here we can see different buttons, okay? We choose the list and choose the organization which we want to list this content, okay? List organization, and we also can include an expiration date. Okay, I'm going to include, I don't know, whatever, and then list. Okay.
So we did, regarding the, we did this. This was a feature that was asked by fact-checking organization because they were leasing or leasing data or giving data away to two kind of organizations. One is research organizations like universities or in innovation centers and organizations like that. They were doing like in a non-profit way, but in the end there was some assets that the fact-check organization has that they were like leasing or giving away to other organizations. In the end, when there was some kind of gaining or benefit, there was no trace of that kind of exchange or information. The second one was big tech companies that were using, they were having a contract, so they are actually sending them that kind of information, but there was not a proper contract. And in the end, the contract didn't include the information that they were exchanging. So in the end, this is a feature that really give them accountability for how they are exchanging their most valuable assets. In the end, that is finding misinformation and then working for doing a fact check with that misinformation.
Exactly.
Okay. What comes to my mind? What did the fact checker say? Like, how did the conversation with them evolve?
Yeah, right now we are working because in the past we've been working with giving them some platform to register both, misinformation and fact checks. Right now we are in the way to agree with them some ways to integrate our solution with the platforms, okay? And finding, accommodating, right now they have the leasing feature, but they need to accommodate to or talk to their current customers to accommodate the technology and the legal agreements. Okay, so we are right now exploring with them how to integrate that in the workflow and how to get the most, get the most of the platform to do that. Okay.
So what would be the next step of your work? Like TruBlo is over. Like, are you tackling a very difficult problem, a rising problem? I expect, like you already said, talked about the Israel Gaza war. Next year we have an election in the USA. I think quite some forces at stake trying to push forward the power of mis and disinformation for their purposes. So I think democratic societies are quite under siege. So is that what you're working here? Is there hope? That is my question.
Right now, our next steps is indeed, you mentioned elections. That is the most important source of misinformation right now. It's amazing. I think both elections and COVID in the beginning, or wars, are the three most relevant sources or sources, but levers for misinformation. So next steps, once we can finish all or everything related to TruBlo will be to reaching IFCN, that is the International Fact Checking Network, and trying to reach an agreement with them so more fact checkers can get the use or get advantage of TruBlo. This is one way of one side of the platform. The other side of the platform probably reaching either media companies like LedgeAir, media companies that are really posted in their fact-checking solutions, so maybe we can help them doing that. And third one, companies that need to really buy or get access to content, to verified content, so we can, also work with the other side of the platform.
Okay. Also, our objective is continue to keep their discussion and conversation with trilateral, these kind of organizations, in order to know more regarding the market, regarding how they work, and that's it.
That would be a good gateway into the market if you could connect with one of the organizations that is active in this area, right?
Yeah.
Looking at the time, first of all, thank you very much.
Thank you.
It shows how much work was done here, but it shows as well like how many complex problems you have to solve. Maybe one question regarding your experience with LedgeAir, because have you had experience with blockchain technology before TruBlo?
Yes, indeed. We have a really strong team with blockchain, but I think it's but not especially. We were more working with identity, not with tokens or with this kind. Yeah, for us, the most interesting thing in technology here we're doing the end-to-end with the digital identity and tokens, not the standard tokens, that is one. Second one is to use special tokens or quite a bit with different tokens with a different use case. So using two really innovative tokens for managing information has been really interesting for us in connecting everything together, all together, digital identity, token holding, and token leasing, and applying that to information. It's been really quite challenging, both challenging and satisfying, because we were never did that, and right now it's something that really it's had a lot of potential, not only smart contracts, but also tokenization of different assets, including information.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you very much. Looking at the time, I don't want to cut you off too rudely, but that we
No, it's okay.
No, it's okay.
Over. Thank you very much. That was a very complete overview. Thank you very much for that. So I would invite everybody who is present to have questions, please do so. I would then later pull them out of the chat. For now, we should switch to LedgeAir and Aviolog, basically the same project, but an evolution here. You started out as LedgeAir, and I always liked the name because it had some humor to it. But Georgia, you want to start giving us an overview?
We basically come from, let's say, two industries. One is aviation, and the other one is telecommunications, or actually everything which relates to telecom. And our, let's say, key topic here was to somehow find a way how the communication from the aircraft should be made affordable, but yet still confirmed and true, considering everything which is evolving around us with regards to possibilities currently from different hardwares. And
maybe for people who are not so insiders with the aviation industry, what I learned during the project, every airplane has a stream of data coming off, which tells quite a bit about location, speed, use of fuel, aware of the engine, so if you know how to read it, it would be a valuable source, but the data is not super easily available. So your core idea is not just to collect the data, but starting to create hardware to collect the data near airports. So you have your own devices collecting the data and then storing them in a trustable way so that it can be used for a number of purposes, right? Or correct me if I'm wrong anywhere here.
You are very correct. That's the goal of our concept, was to actually use what we could from our knowledge and both sides, development of such a device, reception of the data, then transmission of that data in a secure way, and then onwards to get the whole infrastructure behind the data, meaning parsing the information, putting information into some legible format for the people that are in the business.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, moving on, I think we might actually go through the presentation, which is a very brief information on what has been done through the TruBlo project and after it, in fact, and we might actually see a little bit more when we display what has been actually developed. So I'm going to leave the floor at the moment to Srdjan, who will...
Yeah, just wanted to add that like Aviolog, which is now a service, which evolved from Project LedgeAir. I also like the name LedgeAir more, but there was a voting when the Aviolog won. So Aviolog wanted to put a mark on aviation knowledge and unwind the limits of data communication between the skies and the ground. So it's set to make live downstream information coming from the skies limitless and true. Just another reminder of this concept, on start, we've been still designing this electronic device, which we call AKRX receiver, which is an Aviolog device. When TruBlo project started, actually when LedgeAir started, it was still in development, and this receiver is used for crowdsourcing data. So system is utilizing data coming from a global network of receivers like this one. And it gets 15 simultaneous radio channels, which are country or region dependent. So you need to match which country uses which receivers. And this is like split into let's say five regions in the world. And we've been designing the receiver at the start of LedgeAir. So it was still a phase where we've been relying on on-the-shelf equipment. And at first phase of TruBlo, we managed to build this hardware and started deploying it. And hardware ensures cryptography, security of data, and requires no intervention from device hosts. And these hosts are, at the moment, these are usually airports, pilots, some technical enthusiasts. Of course, we are also hosts of these devices. And while developing LedgeAir, we've learned quite a few important things on the features that are being developed, on the amounts of data we can receive, actually, which turned out to be much higher than we expected, and what is required for a live, true, and validated communication with skies. And TruBlo really made us think and realize a number of services and taught us on how the project's future should look like. And I think when we started, it was still early phase of blockchain. I need to add that, because Ethereum-based blockchain was later on evolved into services which can do much higher number of transactions and which are probably more suitable for the amounts of data we need. But it helped us it helped us build the initial system which was live and working. Maybe more technical details will Boban give about the data and what we did in TruBlo with them.
Yes, thank you. we began our project with necessity to quickly and with minimum developer resources spin up POC software system. So we decided to use cloud services as they offer ready template services for different kind of projects, which enabled us less programming, hardware and administrative tasks, backups, and so on. We also wanted to determine if it was viable for us to continue using cloud services, not only for POC, but also for our full-blown production software. As the project development progressed, we could sum up several conclusions. First, our decision to use cloud services for POC was legit. We very quickly developed a software system which reliably receives aircraft messages sent by several of our prototype receivers and process data from the messages. Second, we also became aware of the required resources and cost which cloud generates for this small amount of test devices. Based on that, we could foresee how it would scale up for more devices. And third, the amount of messages was really huge, up to 10 million messages per day per receiver. Our system was definitely a big data system. Big data cloud services are very expensive. We realized that if we want to advance from POC to production grade system, we as a startup need to move away from the cloud, and that transfer was full of challenges and not very smooth. The focus of development to ingest big data for the acceptable cost moved us back to the on-premise server. We needed to redesign architecture and services and also minimize utilization of the communication channels. The second big area and focus of ours was developing a message parser. There are hundreds of different message types with thousands of different attributes, depending on aircraft type, airline, aircraft model, etc. So we focused on developing our parsing algorithms and backend and front-end components which can provide valuable analytics data to our clients. And the third big area of our focus are consensus algorithms and blockchain services. Consensus, which in our case means determining true from false messages, and smart contracts for rewarding of feeders based on their reputations were developed and tested even on the cloud, but now on the full scale are adjusted as cloud resources were a limiting factor. Also, now at full scale, we are testing blockchain services in order to move to a production environment in the next period with a true knowledge of scaling up, depending also on the geographical coverage. So you can see that our technological path was iterative and several times we needed to readjust our focus, architecture, and optimal use of our resources in order to achieve our project goals, especially the goal to find the shortest path to our potential clients' needs. George? We don't hear you.
Sorry, I was on mute. Okay, well, one of the last things is what have we learned, what's good, what's bad, what we recommend, or what we think should be maybe in the future projects done in order to get them smoothly up and running. Our process, as you can see, was iterative. Our team has learned a lot with regards to both technical, commercial, operational, project management aspects, and so on. The benefit, which was the key to us, was extremely good mentorship. I can thank you, Mirko, for that. And it led us actually to use some tools that speeds us up in a daily life nowadays, especially with regards to how we visualize our ideas and the project and the parts of it in let's say, a very quick, detailed view. There I'm mostly referring to the innovation readiness level infrastructure and the business canvases, which we use pretty much every week in order to vet if some idea is better or another. So all in all, we see that this is giving us a huge benefit in quickly progressing through several or different opposing development tasks. Now, we also found that the selection of the projects was quite good for us, especially having the exposure on the Tech Chill event, where we actually had the benefit of understanding with other teams that have gone through to a progress phase to see what their hurdles are and in many ways to benchmark against them. And so we made also some personal and technical advances beyond that or based on that, and obviously have had some valuable exchanges on the administration as well, in order to understand that our mindset is not far away from what the others were facing. And then obviously we got to know some innovative ideas which were already on the market or are to a certain extent there, and that there can be potential synergies. I'm referring here especially to the platforms which actually visualize the data and allow people to better understand the information that they see in front of them. Now, there is also obviously a benefit of being able to test our solutions with the Alastria resources, and it helped us to understand a little bit better the Web3 environment and where we can see that viable for our use case. We practically did not see any bad thing with regards to the TruBlo project per se, but we have the recommendation with regards to the deliverables. We feel that they are required. They need to keep the pace of every project, that's for sure. But we also would like to recommend certain level of templated sections of deliverables in order to minimize the effort and use that time in order for the teams to be able to use it on the development rather than reporting efforts. I think that, well, actually, this was during our exchanges on the Tech Chill was also mentioned the very same thing. So we, I suppose, are not of the single opinion on that topic, but we fully understand that the knowledge of each of the project where they are with that way of reporting is also required. So with that, I believe we are.
If I can just add a few my thoughts why I think mentoring in TruBlo was beyond our expectations, because from start we had confidence and felt like TruBlo team is on our side and really working to help us. Not only that project had a meaningful schedule, like there was a minimal application with 1 month extension for deliverable, so it was really makes sense. But it was after that it was beyond mentoring. It was more like goal reaching partnership, which is like coaching. And every meeting with you, Mirko, was like it was not the simplest form of checking the progress. It was really conversation. You forced us to have our inner conversation to see where we are, what we can achieve. And even on start, when we had some struggle to cover hardware part production issues with parts, stuff like that, we didn't feel, we felt support from you. So from my side, I mean, really, thank you for that.
Thank you very much for that. I very much appreciate it, but I think you found me as somebody who's quite passionate about entrepreneurship, and that's why it was a pleasure to work with the three of you. And I really hope that this evolves further, and thank you very much for the a glimpse into the complexity.
We are going to show you a little bit of where we are with regards to actual data being treated. Obviously, many of you guys are using all kinds of flight trackers. Ours obviously is not the flight tracker per se. It's more a system which is required for the professional use. In this particular view, you are seeing only the option of getting to know where your aircraft at the moment is. However, more important things are what we are seeing here, which is practically a breakdown of the information on your engine performances, on your aircraft current statuses. Let me just see if this will open up quick. Probably it will. On several different, there you can see some issues that that were faced on specific types or specific registrations of the aircraft treated and in front of a user. That means that they can react on a specific information, be that occurrence, repetitive or a nuisance kind of an information with the exact information when did it happen in the past 10 flights. It also goes beyond that to show you different components of the aircraft, like the APU, for instance, in this case, where you can see parameters, and you can put them into any kind of a report or a chart. And then you can put also notifications for yourself if you're working in that department. Here in this particular case, because this is a test user, we are not still opening up the notifications. These views that you're seeing now are technical views. We also have operational views, which we can, I hope, demonstrate at least some of them, where you can go into more details about, let me see, I'll quickly close the share. Just a sec, or I can open it somewhere else. Just a sec. Can you see my screen?
Not yet. We see you, but
okay, let me try to see what did I do. Okay, here we can see some operational events for a specific fleet again, like when did the aircraft actually take off.
we can
see if we can
so
see
far
some.
we cannot see the screen.
Okay, sorry. Share. Is it better? Can you
Yes.
see the screen now?
Yeah.
Now we can.
Okay. Okay. So for a specific fleet which is flying, and only for that fleet, you can see specific information with regards to where they are, obviously, what was their time of the takeoff, where are they flying to, and so on and so forth. In some cases where the information is available, like here, you can see which fuel amount was on the plane when it took off. This is obviously in tons, so basically the information is readily available for either side of the operations or the technical part of an airline. Or furthermore, it can be used for an airport, obviously, for knowing where the fleet, which is bound to the aircraft, is at the moment, and so on. So, and then there are numerous kinds of benchmarks and things which aggregate the data, but obviously spoof the data, which is not to be seen by everyone. So sensitive data is masked, but the required information is present, like, for instance, benchmarking on the fuel, or similar things on the times, whatever they are, so on and so forth.
Yeah, very impressive. I mean, I can see, or everybody can see, how this is stack by stack and level of level. I really found it interesting to see the list of technical problems that needed to be solved, which was presented by Svedjan and Boban, like to see through how many layers of information you have to work through in such a project. I think it's not exclusive to a project like this, but it shows how much engineering versatility is needed to put it all together, the parts that they are working. Can you maybe talk, like coming to an end, talk about what could be the most likely application in the market? Is it flight maintenance? Is it flight monitoring? Where do you think this could take off?
Yeah, so we are currently at several test customers. Most of them, or not most, all of them are airlines. Some of them are actually in your neighborhood, Mirko. But in the whole concept, the idea here is that they, after a certain period of time, become our commercial customers, and we are working with them to see and fine-tune the information that they require and the way that they require it, because this is our thinking on how the data should be displayed. We obviously receive the information from them as well, how they want it presented. And then based on that, we will roll out, let's say, within the 6 months' time, an airline side of the platform, which is going to be both technical and operational. And that should cover the initial targets. We, at one stage of our project, we said that our primary targets are airlines and airports. After we cover airlines, we're going to tackle airports with their needs, because in one way or another, this is a little bit off market for ourselves. We are not that deep into airport operations knowledge, but we have a good relationship with Vinci, which offered to be our test customer as well. So having in mind they have quite a few airports around the world, they would be a very good test customer for moving on. Okay.
Well, looking at the time, we already filled an entire hour with reports from two projects. Thank you very much to both of you for having the time to do that.